Hello everyone, welcome to Telugu One Academy. Friends, today we will be learning about the Northeast Insurgency topic. Okay, in that we will be concentrating our day in the Manipur. Okay, Manipur is very unique when it compared to all other Northeast insurgency groups. So most of the Northeast insurgency, whether it is in Meghalaya, where it was mostly secessionist tendency, where it was Nagaland for Nagalim and also having their own constitution, their own flag, and also having secessionist tendencies, where Arunachal Pradesh it was an external factor. Okay, but in most of the areas, one or other group has been a dominating group, or the tribes have been almost equally distributed within the state. But Manipur is the different case, my friend. Manipur was a princely state which was later included into the Union of India by the year 1949, almost by that time. And for your fact, when it compared to the post-independence chapter, I can say you that Manipur was the first state in India which had democratic elections conducted, and it had its own famous legislative assembly, and the king had signed the accession agreement with the government of India. And when the legislative assembly has known, which was a popular assembly which had much of support from the local people, then there had a short fire of insurgency started, saying that without the permission of the legislative assembly or the famous council or the assembly, how can the king give away the Manipur state to India? This was the issue which started. And I would also like to start this class by saying the basic demography of Manipur. Manipur, my friends, is dominated by a tribe called Meiteis. Okay, it also have the tribes which are concentrated in the northern districts, which are concentrated by Naga tribes. Okay, it also has a 7% population who are Muslims. Okay, it is not as is the case of Meghalaya or some other northeast states where most of the tribes, even the Naga tribes who are converted into Christianity or who follow mostly Christianity, the Meiteis in Manipur follow Hinduism. Okay, Meiteis, these are valley people who follow Hinduism. Okay, they were brought into the Hindu fold around 17th century. Okay, they were brought into the Hindu fold around 17th century. Now, apart from Naga tribes, as I told you, there are around 7% of Muslims who these Meiteis, Kukis and Naga think they are outsiders. They have come from Bangladesh and they do not have enough rights in that state. And apart from that, there are also small groups small tribal groups within the Manipur. Okay. Now, as I told you, Manipur, though became the part of India, the statehood was not immediately given. It was part of Assam for a long time. It was later part of the Union territory for most of the long time, and later it was given the statehood in the year 1971-72. So people felt that it was a lot of injustice which was going with them because of delay in the statehood. Manipur is known for its ethnic and cultural diversity, but the state has indulged in internecine conflicts among different ethnic groups. Here what happened, as I told you, the demography, Kukis, Meiteis, Nagas and Muslims and all other tribal groups in this has created internal ethnic conflicts and also conflict against the state of India, and also spillover effects from creation of Greater Nagalim, which includes the northern 4 districts of Manipur. Okay, the Nagas want even these 4 districts to form Greater Nagalim or a Naga country. Okay, because of this, that is one of the effect, and more we will learn. You see, Nagas, Kukis, Paitis, okay, Tados, Samits, Vaifesis and Raltis, Gantis and Hamars. I am sorry if I spelled any of the tribal names wrongly. I am really sorry for that. Okay, Tados, Saimtis and Vaifes, Raltis and Gangtis and Hamars. Hamars, we have also dealt with Hamars in Mizoram issue also. Okay, even these people are in the tribal districts of Manipur. The state is home for the Meiteis, the majority ethnic group in the state. There are about 30 tribal inhabitants in Manipur. So what happened, as I told you, Meiteis were Hindus and they are not the scheduled tribe people. They felt after the formation of Manipur and inclusion into the Indian constitution, they felt we are losing the, what you say, different rights or different amenities which were provided to the scheduled tribes. They were having protection for their land, they were having the forest rights, which were enjoyed by all the people before the Manipur became part of India. So what happened, they thought, just because of joining India, we have lost these rights and we have become inefficient now. So my Meiteis mostly occupy the valley areas. They are mostly in the Imphal valley, and other tribes inhabit the surrounding hills. Nagas exclusively inhabit the surrounding hills. In between Nagas and Meiteis, there are Kukis surrounding. The Meiteis constitute more than 50% of the population but occupy only 1/10 of the state's area. Meiteis do not belong to scheduled tribes category, while the hill tribes enjoy certain privileges like job reservation, protection of their land from settlement and ownership by non-estates, even if it was Manipuris also. This has been strongly resented by Meiteis, who perceive that hill tribes are garnering benefits disproportionately to their population. That is because they are confined to Imphal and surrounding areas of Manipur. So what happens, they think we are such a small land, they are gaining such a large patch of forest and they can sell it, they can do anything on that, then what about us? This was the issue raised by Meiteis. So the delay in granting the statehood also caused a discontent among the Meiteis, because as I said in 1972 it was given full statehood, before that it was union territory. And because of this they felt there is no identification. Meiteis felt we have no identity just by being Hindus. We could have been Christians or we could have been tribal groups same like other people, and no political economic benefits we are gaining just by joining India. So this gave rise to a secessionist tendency within the Meiteis and to form an independent Nagaland outside India. So this led to the formation of first insurgent group by the year 1964 by Samarendra Singh. Okay, he was Samarendra Singh, founded the United National Liberation Front (UNLF) to achieve the independence and a socialist society of Manipur. So later in December 1968, a breakaway group of United National Liberation Front by Oinam Sudhir Kumar established a government in exile which was in Sylhet, which is presently present in Bangladesh. That time it was East Pakistan. Okay, in exile, called Revolutionary Group of Manipur, that is RGM, with headquarters at Sylhet. This is Sylhet, which is in East Pakistan. That is nothing but present Bangladesh. Okay, RGM was the outshoot of United National Liberation Front, that is Revolutionary Government of Manipur. Something but an exile government. So RGM was backed by Pakistan. The primary objective of RGM was to liberate Manipur through armed struggle. They are very aggressive group. They maintain elaborate underground organization, and even in the exile government in Bangladesh, they had their own finance minister, home minister and foreign minister and army chief of staff with Sudhir Kumar as general secretary. However, Meiteis secessionist movement received a serious jolt because in 1971 we all know, due to the Bangladesh Liberation War, we were successfully almost made the insurgent groups in Myanmar, insurgent groups in Northeast India to come to an end. So it got a serious jolt because of the formation of Bangladesh in 1971. The movement gradually fizzled out with the rest of the leaders accepting the amnesty offered by the Chief Minister of State R.K. Dorendra Singh. Okay, remember his name, R.K. Dorendra Singh. He gave many of ameliorative measures to all the insurgent groups who surrendered their arms. So most of the insurgent groups thought there is no way out, we need to now surrender. So it was surrendered. So some of the Meiteis rebels, including N. Bishweshwar Singh, were detained in Tripura jails in the company of Naxalites of left-wing extremism. So this was a turning point now. In Northeast India, the Maoism or Naxalite tendency was very low when compared to mainland Red Corridor regions. So what happened was, because of his inmates who were who were all Naxalites, N. Bishweshwar Singh had joined the Naxalism or Maoism, and he even went to China to train himself. You see, Bishweshwar Singh and his associates were indoctrinated through the Maoist thought. After his release from the jail, Bishweshwar along with his team of 16 Meitei rebels left to Lhasa, Tibet, present-day China on June 14, 1975 to seek the Chinese assistance. There they took, the team returned to Manipur in 1976 after receiving extensive training in guerrilla warfare from China. On September 25, 1978, Bishweshwar formed the People Liberation Army to achieve independence through armed struggle. Remember this name, People Liberation Army, which is presently making armed struggle against the armed forces people, exclusively Assam Rifles in this region. This is one of the famous organization. Please note down whatever the important insurgent groups I name you. It is under the Bishweshwar Singh, N. Bishweshwar Singh, that People Liberation Army, which was formed in 1978. United Nations Liberation Front also you need to remember, which I have written here previously. Samarinder Singh, United Nations Liberation Army. Sudhir Kumar also. So now come the Maoism into the state. Okay. Next, apart from the formation of People Liberation Army, Manipur witnessed the growth of number of Meitei underground groups. Okay. Similar to the objectives of late 70s and early 80s, that is formation of an independent Manipur state. So People Revolutionary Party, the new parties include People Revolutionary Party of Kanglei Pak, okay, that is pre-Pak. Please remember, this is also famous insurgent group. People Revolutionary Party of Kanglei Pak, okay, this was led by R.K. Tulachandra in 1977, and the Kanglei Pak Communist Party. This is, if you are not able to look at this, my friends, this is Kanglei Pak Communist Party. KCP it is called so, though this is silent in these days. Okay. Some lesser known insurgent groups such as Poiri Liberation Front, Meitei State Committee and United People's Revolutionary Socialistic Party, they also sprang up, but most of these insurgent groups gave up their arms in the later times, except the People Liberation Army and pre-Pak. Okay, let me call this term as pre-Pak because it is very long to pronounce the whole full form. People Revolutionary Party of Kanglei Pak. Okay, I'll call it pre-Pak. Okay, so Meitei insurgent steps into the activities in 1970s and 1981. They unleashed a violent campaign looting the banks, attacking the treasuries and killing the security forces. So the number of persons killed in the acts of violence went up from 2 in 1978 to 14 in 1979 to 51 in 1981. So when there was increasing, then the government of India and government thought that we need to impose Armed Forces Special Power Act in the state of Manipur. It was inducted in the year 1980. Since then, it is continuously operating in the Manipur. Subsequently, security forces arrested Tulachandra, okay, the leader of pre-Pak. Please remember his name, I as I told you. The leader of pre-Pak. Pre-Pak is nothing but People Revolutionary Party of Kanglei Pak, while the leader of the rival pre-Pak faction, Maipak Sharma, surrendered in the same year. So because of this leaderlessness, most of the movement has come down during these years. Security forces also succeeded by destroying most of the several bases of Meitei insurgent group. Security forces, while raiding the PLA camp, that is People Liberation Army, in Tekcham, Tobul district, killed nearly its entire top leadership and arrested Bishweshwar on July 6, 1981. So PLA, pre-Pak and KCP were notified as unlawful organizations later in the year 1981 under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. So counterinsurgency operations continued on April 13, 1982. The new PLA leader Tondum Kanjay Bihari and 8 other activists were killed in an encounter in Kandam Pokpai near Imphal. So almost PLA was thought it dead, but its ideology has survived for a long time. Following these setbacks, PLA failed to keep up the movement, though sporadic low-level terrorist activities continued. But two other Meitei insurgents group, that is Pre-Pak and that is People Revolutionary Party of Kanglepak and Kanglepak Party, found it difficult to recover from the losses suffered due to the counter-insurgency operations in the year 1982. So by the end of 1980, so after 1982 almost it was all the way peaceful, but by end it again Manipur engulfed into the insurgency just because of the in-group that is between Meiteis and other groups. Meitei extremist groups, particularly PLA, stepped up their activities. PLA militants killed the IG Vandan Malik, the Indian Police Service officer, in the ambush in Imphal. Importantly, the PLA reorganized itself and formed a political wing called People's Revolutionary People's Front, RPF. So now the People Revolutionary Army has come into RPF. It has formed its Revolutionary Party Force, People Force. It can say it came into politics now. RPF seeks secessionist of Manipur. RPF established a government in exile again in Bangladesh, Shailet, okay, with Irengbam Bhorat Singh as its president, and RPF had a vice president. It even had its publicity, communication, education, various ministries. The armor wing of RPF, the PLA, was similarly reorganized. So now what happened? PLA thought now we have to make ourselves look better than the government of India, because there is dying of insurgency and they need people support. To garner this people support, what did the PLA did was they gave instant justice. What is this instant justice, my friends? They killed the rapists, they killed the murderers who have been committing nuisance in the area. Okay, they even curbed the drug trade in the region. They imposed even they even imposed full sort of ban on wine drinking and etc. So PLA had to set up 2 camps in Myanmar and 5 in Bangladesh. Reports indicate that about 1,000 PLA recruits received armed training in these camps. PLA also formed United Front of Meitei extremists called the Revolutionary Joint Committee along with the Pre-Pak and KCP. So these groups rejoined among themselves and they thought we have to give a collaborative struggle. In a bid to enlist support from the people, as I said they took enforcement of total prohibition, that is no, and gunning down the rapist, besides launching a vigorous drive against drug peddlers in early 1990s. Moreover, Meitei insurgency group sought to project a pan-Mongoloid identity. To gain this people support, they even said, now we will not follow on any other language but Manipuri itself. We are a unique group and we want our identity to be protected. They even supported their own cultural revolutions, as which was followed by Mao in the initial years of forming China. They also took the identity from them. They rejected the Bengal script, which they believed suppressed their language and culture. To assert their separate identity, they revived the practices of old Meitei religion, which is also called Sena Mahi. Okay, Sena Mahi is a old religion of Meiteis. So, as I told you, the Manipur contains a population of 7% Muslims. Okay, these Muslims are considered as outsiders by Manipuri, especially Meitei group. These Muslims there, they are called as Mayangs or outsiders. Okay, they perceived that the domination by outsiders was largely responsible for their economic backwardness. The Meiteis thought, okay, our economic backwardness is because of these outsider people. So their Manipuri Muslims are called as Pangals. I am sorry if I am pronouncing wrong. Pangals are Manipuri Muslims who constituted over 7% of the population, had been considered as the outsiders who are called Mayangs. In 1993, there was sort of fight in 1990s. Almost around number of children, women, everyone of Muslim community were burned to death by Meitei group. More than 90 people, including women and children, were killed in a series of clashes between Meitei and Pangals in Taubal and Imphal district. Reports indicate People Revolutionary Army and was set up in its early 90s, instigated the communal violence. So reports also suggest the sections of Bengal established links with Bangladeshi, with Pakistan Inter-Service Agency, and weapons were given for their assistance. So now you see, whenever in Northeast India, one group thinks that they are being attacked politically, brutally with armed forces, then they form their own insurgent group. Similar with happened with the Bengals, okay, the Muslims of Manipur, they formed their People's United Liberation Front, Northeast Minority Front, Islamic National Front, Islamic Revolutionary Front, and United Islam Liberation Front. All these insurgent groups they have formed to fight against the, have been formed in order to protect their community in the Manipur. Now you see, as I told you in the first slide itself, that Nagas inhabit the northern 4 districts of Manipur. And even the leader of Naga, Isaac Muhiwa, okay, that is the Naga National Socialistic Council, IM you can say, Naga National Socialistic Council of Nagaland, that is Isaac Muhiwa faction, was born in the Manipur. Even Isaac Muhiwa was born in Manipur. So because of this Naga identity clash, Nagas thought we want this separate Nagalim and we will take these 4 districts of Manipur. So then Meiteis opposed this. Meiteis do not want that. And even the drug trade which was coming from Moreh, the Myanmar border, was in the control of Nagas, and most of the time Meiteis took over the control of that. Now there is a clash of superintendency, who gets the money from the drug trade. So Meiteis were winners, and this continued a clash of Nagas and Meiteis, and an ideology came into the mind of Nagas that we cannot live in this state until or unless we get our Nagalim, because Meiteis will be dominating us and we will never live in peace with Meiteis. So that is the whole story, my friend. As I told you, the top 5 districts, Urkal, Senapati, Temenglong and Chendel. Naga National Socialist Council Isaac Muhiwa used Urkal districts particularly, where the leader Isaac Muhiwa was formed. They collect the funds, and even in these areas, my friend, they have been insurgency is growing, they have been drug pelleting, they have kidnapping, they are running in a highway. Several terrorist acts in Manipur in 1990s especially. You know that Isaac Muhiwa team also killed several security forces during this time. Okay, there were clashes between Assam Rifle security forces and Isaac Muhiwa faction. This is totally about their killing structure or timeline of killing of armed forces in that area by Naga group. And Kuki and Naga. As I told you, Kuki is also an tribal group within the Manipur, my friends. What happened is, Kukis were the majority of the population, okay, one of the majority of tribal groups there. There arose the Kuki-Naga conflict because I said you, Meiteis are in the Imphal valley, Nagas are in the high hill areas. So in between these areas are the Kukis who act as a buffer. So an ethnic conflict between Nagas and Kukis broke out, okay. So they are one of the major tribal group, they are the major tribal group, I can say directly. Clashes between 2 groups are now they are silent, but because of this Naga-Kuki conflict, a number of Kuki insurgent groups also came up. That is Kuki National Army, Kuki National Front, and many others have been struggling for separate state. Kukis want a separate state, but within the Constitution of India itself, okay, in the Union itself since 1980s. The ethnic conflict had added the dimension as a result of bitter struggle for control, drug trafficking and smuggling of contraband to the border town of Moreh. Okay, Kuki, see, that's what I told you, Kukis captured the Moreh. Okay, Kuki, sometimes even Meiteis also, but especially the clash of control of drugs, the Meiteis did not wanted the drugs, isn't it? So it was taken over by Kukis. I am sorry, please correct the previous one. It was not Meiteis who wanted the control of drugs, it was the Kukis who wanted the control of drugs in the overall. So what happened, this conflict was increasing, and one fine day what happened, the Nagas came and killed around 2000 people from Kuki faction. or 2000 houses, several houses were burned down, around 2000 people were killed in this whole thing. The entire state now, even the political factions were also divided among themselves. So, and as I told you that Manipur is a conglomeration of various tribes. Even there is a tribe called Paitis. Even with Paitis, the Kukis were having conflict, interclan conflict, particularly between Kukis and Paitis. Even Kukis were dominating these Paitis. Around 1,000 lives were lost in the insurgency or fight between Kukis and Paitis in 1997 and 98. So there is no fight at present this day of time, because they signed a peace agreement in the year 1998. Since then there is no fight between the Kukis and Paitis. So you have seen, my friend, lot of insurgency going on, lot of in-groups, lot of different tribes forming their own groups to protect themselves. How can I say that Manipur will stay as a Manipur? What is the solution for Manipur? See, the solution is not immediate, because the insurgency was not formed in a day. It has been forming since the day of 1947, I can say. From since then, almost 73 years, moving towards 75 years of independence. The solution lies with the people. The solution lies basically with the people. As I said you, number of factions, diverse ethnic groups and valleys conquered by the Meiteis and hills by the Nagas and different ethno-religiosity. Okay, and this is all how the greater Naga limb has been affecting them. Every point, as I told you, every tribal group leading for their own faction. The solution lies within the Constitution of India. Some solution lies by providing Schedule 6 status, by providing autonomous district councils. Okay, this is one of the solution. And even you see, the people there should be realized that the political factions should not be happening. They need to strike out that. People need to think that we are one as Manipuris. Okay, and they need to reach, and as I told you, insurgent groups are also affiliated with political parties, which makes it a marriage of convenience between the gun and political power as funding. As you see, for funding purpose and to make the politicians to survive on killing of some other persons, it is a vicious circle. Okay, you see, never a politician who lives on this insurgency or by propaganda of these killing the other tribals or propaganda against other tribal people do not want this insurgency to end. It want it to be always burning. So by realizing this fact, the people need to oppose these political parties. Okay. While generally you see what happens is, whenever something happens in northeastern region, they directly blame that it is just because of central government carelessness it is happening. But the reality at this place, my friend, that one need to realize that states need to take the maximum role in reducing this insurgency by taking or bringing up their own plans. Okay. A solution to this problem lies with the people rejecting the fragmented political setup and collectively deciding to fight for the better life. One need to also realize that without economic growth and with the continuous insurgency, there cannot be improvement in their life. They need to attract the private sector. And you see, we have to encourage most of these northeast people, especially this Manipur, our Manipur people, to come and enter into the central government jobs, to work in the various places of India, so that they feel a pan-India shape. Okay, tourism. You see, industry and tourism can only flourish through peace, and they can be, more people can be brought into the mainstream by employing them into different jobs, employment in private sector, and fresh perspective to this area can be brought. Okay, people will have to rise above the pretty local politics. They need to think beyond their state. Then only it is possible. You see, the recent Olympics also, most of the number of medals what we are getting is from the northeastern people. So by encouraging them, by making them a reflection of Indian flag, okay, even the boxer who won the silver medal was from Manipur. Okay. So even AFSPA, my friend, AFSPA, so we have seen various insurgent groups attacking the police personnel just because of AFSPA. Even people movements rising against the AFSPA. But rather than AFSPA is just only a psychological, perceptional problem rather than a legal one. Okay, most of the atrocity has been done by the ground level police officers when it was surveyed rather than the armed forces. The local police in the experience, see, I have taken this from the various authors and files. In my experience, I am saying, is high handed in dealing with the army. And you see, even if it is AFSPA is imposed, we need to amend the provisions within the Armed Forces Special Power Act under the directions given by the Supreme Court of India. By changing and bringing amendments into the AFSPA itself, we can make people to be happy. And you see, by changing the name itself, Armed Forces Special Power Act, you can say the Special Power Act to control insurgency. Such, by changing the name of that, and making the armed personnel who are working in AFSPA to take up civilian activities and building a close cooperation with the people in the region, as it was done in the Tripura model. Tripura model could be the best solution for Manipur also. Even Tripura faced the same thing. Okay. It should also be borne in the mind that army can only operate. See, we have to also make the people to think that army will only operate when the area is declared disturbed. Why do you want to make your area to be declared disturbed? So, if you maintain peace, if you are happy, if you are not included into insurgency, then there will be no armed force in your area. Then there will be no AFSPA to operate in that state. So, you have to make the people realize that this should happen. So before ending the topic on Manipur, my friends, I would like to make you introduce about few of the famous movements which happened in Manipur. One was led by Irom Sharmila. Okay, Irom Sharmila, she is also called as Iron Woman of Manipur. Okay, she since year 2000, when she was 28 years old, where Molem massacre, they call it, okay, which happened in the year 2000, around like that, where around 10 people were killed in that massacre. She thought by armed forces, Assam Rifles it is, okay. So then she thought that I need to fight against this AFSPA, and she went on the hunger strike. And when she was in a hunger strike, the police arrested her in the name of she was committing a suicide then that time. So she was forcibly fed. She did not took any water or food from her mouth, my friends. She was forcibly fed by this tube which connected through her nose into her stomach. This is called Rayleigh's tube, which is used in medicine to protect the people who are in coma from dying and people who can't eat by themselves. So she went on the hunger strike for the longest period, almost for 16 years. After 16 years in the year 2018-19, she ended up her hunger strike, and she is happily married now. The next incident is Manorama incident, my friend. Manorama was a woman aged 32 years who was brutally raped. And when the case went to for inquiry around that time, and when the High Court has said they have no right on dealing with the on punishing or dealing with the armed forces in the region because they are staying in the state under AFSPA, then raised even before that also, then raised pain in the people of Manipur. Then around aged women, like the old women of Manipur came forward. They said, this is not good. Our women, our sisters in Manipur are brutally raped by some armed force and been killed. She was brutally raped, and around 16 shots were found in her body. Around 6 to 16 shots were found in her body. So such a brutality should never exist. And around all the women, elderly women, went to the Assam Rifles headquarters and they got stripped themselves. They protested in nude. You know, Manipur is a state where women do not show up their body parts. They even close up their body parts. They feel they need to be very closed. Even in that state, women came forward and protested in this manner that Indian army raped us. So it went to an international media issue, and still the justice is averted, my friends. So Apart from that, very recently, we thought Manipur, the insurgency has almost come to an end in the early 2000s, and the recent years after 2015, we did not see any major attack, one or two smaller attacks. 2015, we saw a bigger attack where a convoy of Assam rifles were attacked. So again in 2021, we come to see in November month 2021, we have seen a commanding officer of Assam Rifles was died along with his what you say, along with his family was dead, and a statement was released by People Liberation PLA claiming that we have bombed it, we were the people who attacked it. But PLA has said we never thought that the army personnel or colonel have been escorted along with his family. So even they felt sorry because since 1996, the PLA or insurgent groups never attacked women and children. So this is a major issue. A quick reaction team personnel were killed, 4 quick reaction team personnel, around 5 people around, whole 5 to 9 people around were killed in Churachandrapur district of Manipur. And this is also a famous thing. Why? Because my friend, Churachandrapur was almost peaceful area because most of the attacks in Manipur happen across the border so that they can easily escape into the Myanmar. So this was the recent issue. Here you can see the photograph of one of the armed personnel who have been injured, have been chopped up. So we here come to an end, my friends. I think a very exhaustive class regarding the Manipur, but it is very important, my friend, to show a solution to whole Northeast insurgency, either in your interview, either in your answer writing. One need to understand the basic problems of the people, how many insurgency groups are formed, why they are from where they have formed. So I have been making such an elaborate classes just for you people. I hope you are understanding my class, and thank you for watching our video. This is Nikhil from Telugu One Academy. Thank you.